Hi, I'm Courtney from CourtneySanborn.com and Illuminating Points, a YouTube channel with Courtney Sanborn. And today I want to talk about breathwork. Breathwork is something I'm really, really passionate about. I teach a free online breathwork class every Saturday. Yoga has had tremendous impacts in my life, but I think breathwork has changed my life even more. And I'll go into a couple of the reasons why, but I want to talk about what breathwork is, how I use and teach breathwork, and then I'll give us a quick breathwork exercise, and then I'll give you information if you'd like to join my free class every Saturday. It's live, and it's about 30 to 40 minutes. So let's just start with what is breathwork. So the mind and the breath are always linked. Always, what's going on with the breath is going on with the mind, and vice versa. We have control over very few parts of our autonomic nervous system. And our autonomic means things that happen automatically, things that we're not controlling. And so one of the, let's just use the heart, for example. The heart is always beating. We don't get to choose to speed up the heart rate or slow down the heart rate. This is an autonomic process. The kidneys are always filtering fluids. There's always a dialysis process going on. We don't get to choose, what goes on there. Same with digestion, et cetera. But the breath is a really interesting thing because it is this automatic process. The breathing's going on all day. We're breathing all day, whether we consciously choose to or not. But when we do consciously choose to breathe, we can alter our breath. We can speed up our breath. We can slow down our breath. We can hold our breath. And that, if you imagine all the organs in the system and the body being kind of like a serpentine belt, like it's all kind of on one string, one thing changes, everybody else is informed, et cetera. This conscious breathing can alter the whole system. And then going back to what I just said a moment ago about the mind and the breath always being linked, the mind and the breath are always linked. If you go back to controlling your breath, you're having effects on the mind, and then the mind affects the entire system. So one of the reasons I actually started teaching breath work was, first of all, breath work changed my life tremendously. Learning it, I expected that it would help me. I had no idea how much it would help me when I started a regular practice of it. But I would teach a meditation course. This was before COVID. And it was like a 6 p.m. meditation course on like a Tuesday night. And it was at a yoga studio, and all of these students would show up. For some reason, I've always attracted a lot of working professionals and type A people into my classes. Just people that, are really have done, are driven, have, are go, are motivated. And they would come in and they'd sit down, and it would be like, 6:00 on a Tuesday or whatever. And they'd sit down and be like, okay, I'm ready to meditate now. And I'd start the meditation. I'd start guiding everybody through meditation. And then I would look, and they'd be like scratching their, scratching their shoulder and like moving their hair around and wiggling. And not just one, but like most of the class. And they all had their eyes closed, were trying to meditate. And I remember thinking, like, this isn't their problem. This is like, as a teacher, I have to find out a way to help them. This isn't them doing a bad job meditating. Like, there's something, I need to figure out here as a teacher, because I'm asking them to go from 100 miles an hour all day long to 0. And it's not realistic. And in a society that, we are going, 100 miles an hour all day long, to sit to meditate, when we finally do sit to meditate, the body and the brain are screaming at us. There's so much to say. And it's not realistic to stop a freight train like that. So I started introducing little bits of breath work before we would go into meditation, just 5 to 10 minutes. And the ability of people to sit after that was like incredible. And again, I had my own breathwork practice, but I was usually doing breathwork after my yoga practice. So I would do yoga, and then I would sit and do, 10 to 15 minutes of breathwork after, and just feel great. And had definitely seen the effects. And so it was around that time that I started changing the way I did breathwork. Like, I started doing breathwork without yoga. I started doing breath work multiple times a day for just 10 minutes, usually first thing in the morning, around lunchtime, and then in the evening, which equated to about 30 minutes of my day, which if you think about it, we spend 30 minutes a day on social media, or I don't know, I can really waste 30 minutes of my day. So to carve out 30 minutes for some mental health seemed pretty easy, but even just one time a day is incredibly beneficial. And what I had noticed, so a couple things that I noticed from my regular breathwork practice in myself, and then I'll explain some of what I've seen in clients, is just a calmness, like an internal calmness. It couldn't be faked, couldn't be like I, as somebody who had suffered from anxiety for most of her life, to feel this deeply calm in my body was pretty amazing, almost too good to be true. And then I ended up cutting out sugar, and this was kind of an unintentional byproduct of breath work. I don't know why this happened or how, but I do know enough about the nervous system now to know that a dysregulated nervous system has some pretty strong cravings for things like sugar and alcohol, and it has a hard time sleeping, and caffeine is definitely incorporated in there. And so to just eliminate it, my cravings just went away, and I have a pretty bad sweet tooth. Additionally, caffeine didn't affect me the way it had before. I could, have 1 cup of like black tea. Typically, I had to have decaf, and after 6-8 months of a regular breathwork practice, I could drink caffeine without the side effects of feeling really overcaffeinated, which this to me also felt like a bit of a miracle. I've watched clients, with a regular breathwork practice go from everything from thyroid issues clearing up, and then being able to go off their thyroid medication just kind of out of the blue. Their sleep, they had insomnia or sleep issues, and just again 10 to 15 minutes of breath work over a period of time helped them be able to fall asleep at night and stay asleep at night. Again, calmness, stress, the ability to sit with emotions, difficult emotions in our body, just expansion of the capacity to hold life. I can't emphasize enough how profound breathwork is. And I really think it's kind of the yoga of the future, and it's already catching on a little bit. But I feel like there aren't as many breathwork classes as, there are yoga classes. And breathwork is a great thing to learn online, because you can, one of the other reasons I love teaching breathwork is people would walk into my yoga class and they would be at all different fitness levels. Some people were like really physically active. Some people had injuries. Some people weren't physically active. Some people had never done yoga. And as a teacher, I would just be like, okay, like we have a pretty diverse class here. How do you make it appeal to everyone? And you can't, just can't. Like modifications are essentially what would have to happen. But why I love breathwork is in my breathwork classes there are people of all ages, a lot of older people that maybe don't do, aren't as physical because you just need to be able to sit. And then a lot of younger people with injuries. And so it's really accessible for anyone that can breathe. I'll just say anyone that can breathe, because that's really all you need to be able to do, obviously, for breathwork class. But then the calmness that happens after, I think, is really the most profound part of breathwork. So let's talk about the breathwork class, and then I'm going to give you a breathwork technique in this audio, like a little how-to. So the class is every Saturday. It's free. It's live. And the reason that I've started offering a free breathwork class is I used to do breathwork one-on-one with clients. I no longer do. And the reason that I don't is I just was like, you know what? I can teach everyone this at once. Instead of me sitting there walking one by one through it, that time can be used for other healing modalities. And again, sometimes I do use breath work on a one-on-one with a one-to-one client, but not like the class. We don't go through 30 or 45 minutes of private breath work. So, and then I wanted to make it accessible to everybody. So it's kind of my gift for, my mission and my intention is to help as many people as I can, to educate them on survival, that most of us are running around in a sympathetic response. We are running around in survival mode, and what this does to the system and what this does to society and what this does to children. There's so many layers to this. And so my mission and intention is to help every person I can get out of survival and get to a place of feeling safe in their own body and safe in their own mind, and a place of calmness and peace, because this ripples out not only, to ourselves, but to our relationships, to our community, to the globe. And so allowing that to ripple out. And so this is my gift to, as many people as would like to show up every Saturday. I'm here holding a 30-minute breathwork class. So you can access that through my website at courtneysanborn.com. And it's under breathwork. And then I'm going to give you a breathwork exercise. So we'll start with just a really simple one today. So close your eyes and then feel the weight of the body in the spine dropping down into the pelvic bowl. So feeling yourself relax down into the hips. Feel the buttocks soften. And then feel the tongue be soft in the mouth. And then the brow is soft. We're going to inhale through the mouth like we're breathing through a straw. So it's like this. And then at the top of the inhale, you're going to exhale through the nose. And when you exhale, I want you to really push the air out of the nose. You can imagine that maybe there's a mirror below your nostrils and you're fogging the mirror with your exhale. So pucker the lips up as if you're about to suck a beverage through a straw, and then inhale through the mouth. Exhale through the nose. And at the bottom of that exhale, just when you think you've pushed all the air out, push out a little more air. Really push using the diaphragmatic muscles. Again, inhale through the mouth. And then exhale through the nose. So this one shouldn't be done for more than a minute. A minute is perfect. And then at the end of the minute, you can just exhale and then close your eyes and sit and just feel your body, and then just feel the physiological changes in the body. Rest there for maybe another minute to 2 minutes, and then you can do another round. I'd recommend doing 3 1-minute rounds. So 3 1-minute rounds of that, and just notice how your mind and body feel different after. At the end, lay flat in Shavasana, just allow your autonomic nervous system to absorb it, and then a good 2 or 3 minutes there. So more on breathwork on my blog, which is under musings at courtneysanborn.com. And then you can also join my Saturday free breathwork class. There will be a link below for how to join there, or you can go to my website. Thanks so much for listening, and would love to hear if you have any thoughts or questions around breathwork. Take care.